up. We're going to charge you. Check. Let me go. Count me in.
That ugly money. Yeah. Say it's that ugly money.
This is the Ugly Money Podcast. It's about the process of success. Everything between your first dollar, your first million. That's ugly money.
And we're live. What up? Welcome to yet another edition of the Ugly Money Podcast. I am your host, UglyMoneyNiche. This episode being brought to you by Goliath Phallus Elixir, the #1 all-natural male enhancement product in the world, in the country, and in the stratosphere. Men on average last 2 to 3 times longer while using Goliath. So go from zero to hero. Go from teddy bear to big bear. Go from gummy bear to grizzly bear by using Goliath Phallus Elixir, the all-natural male enhancement product. It's all nuts and berries. So use it to put your nuts in a berry. What I need y'all to do before we get this show started, drop them cities and locations and hit that like button. Drop them cities and locations in the chat right now. Hit that like button. It don't cost you nothing. I won't hit your Cash App, maybe the Federal Credit Union. I won't hit your Chime on your Venmo or your PayPal. Hit the like button. Drop the cities and locations. Shouts out ATL in the building. Okay, Tennille, Georgia, what's happening? Indianapolis, Indiana, I see you. Keep dropping them cities in the chat. I'm about to teach y'all how to get some money. New Orleans, what's happening, baby? Yes, we are live and inside. Hold on, I got a call. Love Smart, we're shooting. Come on. LA, California, what's happening? Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the home of the pimp. Keep dropping them cities and locations in the chat. It is a special edition, Monday edition. Monday. It's Money Monday. We getting to the money on Monday. Gulfport, Mississippi, what's happening? Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, what's happening? Alabama, what's happening? Columbus, Ohio, what's happening? Come on, keep on dropping them. Let's go up. It's time. Put it down. Man, let's get it. Oh, man. Hey, remember, all Super Chats will be read and discussed in full. If you got something to say, you want to say it with your chest, you got a question for me or my guests, please send it with a Super Chat. We will get right to it. We got an amazing episode today. Now, I have a special guest, and I can honestly say that out of all my guests, he has come farther to be on the show than anyone else. So this is a special moment for me. Actually, my price is going up after this. Don't even ask me. I am officially a big deal because we have officially went worldwide. We have officially gone abroad. My brethren from the UK. We did not bring me any tea and crumpets. I think that's another country. Is that another country? Might be. Y'all show your love. From Stock Pickers Academy, Coach Dev. What's up, brother? How was that intro?
That was great.
Pretty good. Welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
Atlanta. How's Atlanta been treating you so far?
It's been good. Just got back from InvestFest.
Yes.
It's been a great 3 days.
Shouts out InvestFest. Shouts out Ian. Ian, what's up, bro? Yeah, let's go ahead and get this out the way first. Ian, next year, okay? All right, brother. You know, I got love and respect. All right. You know, we've been talking it. Yup. Okay, Nietzsche. Next time you want to have Ace Metaphor line of women on stage, let's have Nietzsche telling some truth to men, okay? No disrespect to Ace Metaphor. I love his platform. But I couldn't listen to that. Come on, Ian. You know what time it is. So, matter of fact, let's do Ace versus Nietzsche next year in InvestFest. Let's shake up some things. Okay, because I had to take too many pictures in for me not to have credentials. That's how my PR, Portia Madrid, because I wouldn't have been able to get there if she hadn't got me in. Okay, Negroes. All right, cool. Let's act like we know. No, InvestFest was dope. You get to meet people that you never possibly would have met. I met you there.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's dope because it brings like-minded individuals of the culture and outside of the culture together to possibly create some business opportunities. What kind of give me your thought process on InvestFest and how valuable it can be.
Rashad said something, and it's something I actually said last year to my people. So I was actually at InvestFest last year as well.
Right.
Just taking in the vibes for my first time. Mm-hmm. It is about the crowd as well, not just the speakers.
Right.
So it's not just like-minded individuals that you meet,
Right.
but it's the unlikely alliances.
Ooh.
That ugly money.
A stock picker from UK.
That ugly money.
Hood nigga from Atlanta.
That ugly money.
Unlikely alliances.
That ugly money.
Nah, for sure, man, for sure. My show is we talk about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
One thing we talk about is women. Because we all love them. I think everybody across the world loves women. And so I am dying to ask you. I know we're going to get to all the money and great things, but I am dying to know, are UK women, from what you've seen, what is the biggest difference between American women versus UK women as far as mentality?
There's a tough one because in the UK, you actually get different types of UK women.
Okay.
Right? But what we tend to do on the shows is we put everyone into a box. UK women, monolith. American women, monolith.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But if you really think about it,
Right.
they're good women, they're bad women.
There's good women, bad women everywhere.
Mixed mentalities.
So they got hoes in UK too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
That ugly money.
I had no idea. But they got good women in UK too.
Yeah.
That ugly money.
Makes sense.
That ugly money.
What do you think the percentage is of hoes to good women?
What a question. I think good women anywhere
Right.
are rare. Because if you're looking for a needle in the haystack, they call it that for a reason.
Come on, brother.
So, low proportion.
Are UK women submissive? Are they taught to be submissive?
I think they are taught to be submissive,
but
we get taught a lot of things.
right.
But the reality is, what do you actually live out?
So their mothers teach them that.
I think some women do, but
But whether they make
there's
the
a
choice-
shift.
Yeah, whether they make the choice to be that, that's on them.
Yeah, that's on them.
Yeah, well, here, then these moms don't teach them shit.
That ugly money.
The American women, they mamas teach them how to twerk.
That ugly money.
Tell them.
That ugly money.
You better get some money out of him if you're going to be fucking him.
That ugly.
These are the things that are taught by mothers sometimes. And I'm not saying all. I'm just saying majority. 51%
That ugly money.
of the women out here, they mamas try to teach them how to sell some cake.
That ugly money.
He didn't say it. I said it.
That ugly money.
I said it. Nietzsche said it.
That ugly money.
So at least in the UK, there is a certain matriarchy that is trying to teach the young women to do the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, to be good women, yes.
That's dope.
I don't know about if it's being submissive.
Right.
The definition of being a
They
good
be watching American women. You think American women influence certain mindsets of
100%.
these hoes?
But I think it's the men too.
Right. Oh, so they watch American culture is definitely
I think American culture
Captivating.
does influence the world,
Yeah.
especially in the world of entertainment.
Respect.
And entertainment is where people go, whether
Right.
it's sport, whether it's
Right.
music, whether it's film.
Right.
So a lot of what goes on in America does filter down not just to the UK,
Right.
but to Nigeria and other places in the world.
So they see Megan Thee Stallion and they want to have hot girl summers.
That ugly money.
Yeah, and then they end up. We're not gonna go there.
That ugly money.
Yeah, no, the thing about it, brother, I love, make no mistake, I love women. I love black women. I love white women. I love American women. I'm pretty sure I love some UK women. You know what I'm saying? I love women. I just have a slight little hiccup with dishonest hoes.
That ugly money.
And if you're going to be a woman of the night, do not come to me as a wife. If you're not a wife,
Okay.
Be what you are. So if you want to be a streetwalker, be a streetwalker. And then I may or may not partake in what you have to offer. But don't perceive to the self of having me hold your hand in public in front of people when, you're doing out calls for $60. And that's my problem with American women is the fact of the matter is they want to get you $60 Monday night, but Tuesday they want you to take them lunch like their wife. And I don't understand that. I don't like that, and it bothers me. But
let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you think it's on the men to have better due diligence?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think we pick terribly. I've taken multiple time accountability of picking terribly because some good pussy out here, bro.
That ugly money.
There's some good cat out here.
That ugly money.
Some fine shit. Hoes be fine.
That ugly money.
They be fine.
That ugly
And then so you got to think to yourself, it's like, okay, but at the same time, where we don't do our due diligence is the fact that we believe what they tell us. When she says, "Oh, well, I've been celibate for 3 months,"
That ugly money.
and
That ugly money.
she only considers raw dick celibate.
That ugly money.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you sit here and mislead me like that and make me think that I'm getting this virtuous woman when, in fact, it may be on the market? And I think, no, we definitely got to take accountability for picking better. These women out here are an amazing actresses. They are extremely, extremely well-versed at it. And, I've had women that are content creators, like porn stars, and literally tell me that, they're virtuous women. And I'm like, a person can subscribe to the inside of your body for $4.99. And no disrespect, but $4.99 to see the inside of your body. And you're trying to convince me that there's not a link in your bio that I can access everything that your mother and God has, put on your body, and check it out. And it's just an interesting time period we're in, brother. I think a lot of women have taken the road of monetizing themselves.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. What you think?
I feel like it's a problem in society, but I think sometimes women do get too much of the attention on what they're doing with their bodies, and actually men are doing the same thing in a slightly different proportion, but still a higher proportion to what men would do before. They're men on OnlyFans.
Right. No, true indeed. True indeed. I think we pale in comparison to the amount of men that are on OnlyFans, but for sure, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that is probably because nobody wants to subscribe to my feet pictures. My feet game is not exactly the best of the best, so I can totally. I do see the economical reasons why they do it. Like, the fact of the matter is that, hey, I can literally shoot this in my room and make millions of dollars. Yes, but I don't think that women consider the other side of the spectrum of one day you're going to have a son. And he's going to be in a locker room. And there's going to be a group chat in that school. And those videos from your OnlyFans are going to hit that group chat.
Absolutely.
And they're going to see his mom getting cracked. And it's going to be a problem for him. Because when he's at football practice, and that thing gets to going around the group chat. Hey, Darnell's mom is getting cracked by 3 dudes. I don't think Darnell's going to have a great game. And I don't think those women keep that into consideration at all, of the fact of what are you that digital footprint that you're leaving behind for those kids. Because I remember in high school, we all had that homeboy that had that fine mama. The mama come to school like, hey, bro. For us, it was my boy Jabbar. Man, Jabbar mama out there. Jabbar would be so mad because, everybody was talking about how beautiful his mama was. Now, given his mama didn't have any videos on OnlyFans, she was just a pretty woman, and he was so embarrassed. He would get mad. He would ready to fight people. But can you imagine if we saw Jabari's mom spread eagle with her legs wide open, goddamn it, with a cucumber in her wood? You know what I mean?
That ugly money.
That's going to be a different case, and that's what a lot of these young men are walking into.
Yeah. Even in university or colleges out here, in my time, you wouldn't be able to access what other people like on OnlyFans. Now, uni students are walking around, and there could be loads of women on campus that they've seen. And the next day, you're in lectures.
You didn't even have to give her tea and crumpets.
That ugly money.
No tea and crumpets.
That ugly money.
I imagine tea and crumpets does, cost a little more than $4.99 USD.
That ugly money.
And it's an interesting time. But it does seem like
Society's broken.
yeah, okay. Let's talk about that. Yeah, for sure. There are a lot of things that our culture seem to be similar to. But in all, I do love our women. I just would like them to love themselves a little more. And it will be easier to love them if they love themselves, because now I have something that loves itself, so it's easier to love that. Yeah, okay, let's talk about money.
That ugly money.
He thought he was just gonna come over here and talk about money. No, that'll get you in some trouble. Like, so what did you mean by that?
That ugly money.
Okay, first and foremost, at least here in America, black men do a lot of different things. The stereotypical things of sell dope and play basketball. There's a lot of them try to rap. I'm talking about stereotypes. The typical, stereotypical American black man. They think that we all shoot ball, which I did. I do shoot ball, and I used to rap too. That's crazy. Okay, I'm.
That ugly money.
Damn.
That ugly money.
Damn, I sold dope too. Fuck.
Ugly money.
Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of things that we do. Stock market isn't exactly a common thing with us brothers here. So how did you get into stocks?
I'll be honest, it was by accident. But that accident was as a result of doing some things right.
Come on.
So I grew up in a place called Peckham, same environment as Damson Idris, UK rapper called Giggs that sometimes comes out here.
Right.
And it was the projects, it was rough. And there was a murder that happened. And that murder was like a turning point where my parents were just very, very strict and saying, you're not going outside.
Right.
You can play football, which is soccer. You can go to school. But I think I was 13, 14 at the time. And I got in a lot of trouble within school. Outside of school, I tried to keep it PC.
Right. For sure.
So I did well in school. I was always a gifted kid. I was a bit of a child genius in school. Right. With the behavioral problems, ADHD, dyslexia as well. So the journey through school, I did really well academically, got a scholarship for my sixth form, which is like college. Right. Went to university, studied mathematics. And when your education takes you into different environments, you end up surrounded by different types of people who are talking about different types of career paths.
Yes, sir.
Because where I'm from, it's football or jail.
Okay. Similar. We got similar things.
That ugly money.
Football, rap, and jail.
That ugly money.
Gotta put the rap in there.
That ugly money.
And so in essence, you found stock picking because of the environment that you were around was not favorable, so you had to find another way.
Which was education.
Right.
So education was the vessel. Doing well in school, entering, universities, colleges where people are talking about different types of careers. I then, at the age of 20, landed a job on the trading floors at Goldman Sachs. So I was the youngest ever trader in the UK office at Goldman Sachs at the age of 20.
Wow.
They gave me $10 million to manage.
Wow. Yeah, we would have scammed them.
That ugly money.
We would have tried it.
That ugly money.
See how my cameraman is laughing?
That ugly money.
We would have tried.
That ugly money.
It'd be like, we out of here, bro.
That ugly money.
Okay, you're 20 years old, not even old enough to buy a drink, and you have $20 billion to manage.
10 billion. Yeah.
$10 billion. 10, 20. Hey, it's a billion. It's in the billion.
Anything more than $1 million felt big to me.
Right, exactly. Pressure.
Yeah. I'm Nigerian.
Right.
My ethnicity is Nigerian.
Right.
So I put a Nigerian in a disadvantaged area, the projects, and you have two ways.
Right.
Having a thick skin.
Right.
So that aligns well with investing. In fact, there are a lot of transferable skills from the streets when it comes to investing. You're taking risk. You're taking losses. You're bouncing back from losses. You're showing resilience. And those transferable skills in a different environment with the right support and the right community and the right mentors can make you a very good entrepreneur.
That's hard.
And can make you a very good investor. In fact, they give you an edge over those that maybe didn't experience those things.
So actually, what people would consider your weaknesses became your strengths.
Basically.
That's hard.
Free game alert. That ugly money.
In fact, I'll give you another one.
Yeah.
Just being neurodivergent, having ADHD, actually made me very, very good at spotting patterns. And pattern spotting and being able to filter information, how I even read, is so important and critical to the strategy that I've been able to develop for how I invest.
Wow. So the fact your ADHD, because usually that's, attention deficit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I got it too. The fact that you get bored easy, you can realize that there's a pattern here and you're getting bored, so you know that there's a pattern here and you can identify it more than the regular people because you're bored.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard.
That ugly money.
That's hard.
That ugly money.
Like, this stock is boring. Let's buy it.
That ugly money.
Something like that. In fact,
Yeah.
I tell my people, when you're investing properly,
Right.
it's boring. Whereas most people get drawn to trading.
Right.
And trading and investing are slightly different. Trading is get rich quick. You're trying to make money now that you can spend. And some of what you make now will go towards investing. Investing is like planting seeds for the long term. And a lot of people don't invest. In fact, in America, I checked the data, only a third of black families are involved in the stock market.
For sure.
And we're actually also the fastest, I'm saying we like I'm here, but,
Right.
The black community in America is the fastest growing ethnicity in terms of investing in the stock market as well.
Amen. Now, you say that we're the fastest growing, but we also are like, by the numbers, we're behind in investing in financial literacy.
60% of white families are investing in the stock market. 33% of black families, black households are invested in the stock market. That's half.
Why do you think that is like that?
Education. Education is what will help you know what's out there. Events like InvestFest,
Right.
communicating with the crowd, connecting with people, you start realizing that there's more out there. And the problem with education is if you don't have someone that can break something down to you in a language that you understand,
Yeah.
right? You can be educated, but the education is not going to stick. I'll give you an example. If I say a stock is a fruit and an index fund like the S&P 500 is like a smoothie, you get it straight away.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
It is, yeah.
It's a combination of fruits already packaged and you can just buy the smoothie.
Right.
Right? So being a good investor is not enough to pass down wealth. Being a good investor that can educate someone, the next generation, whether that's your kids, your family, your friends, your relatives, that's how you can actually pass down wealth, because you're passing down generational knowledge.
Yeah.
And the environments that I worked in, I'll be honest, it was like the fly in the coconut ice cream.
Wow.
You look around and you don't see many people that look like me.
Right.
Initially, there was a bit of imposter syndrome. I felt like if I didn't perform, why would they hire another black person? So actually, before becoming an investing coach, I was a career coach. I helped over 1,000 black people in the UK land jobs in investment banking.
Wow. That's dope, bro. No, that's what it is. So, bridging the gap.
That ugly money.
And we fix it with education, understanding. Because, when I was a kid, I was kind of taught, we had this mentality of having everything paid for and credit was bad and we cut up the credit cards. It was a thing. It was like a ritual, like, no credit cards and, and just, pay. I want everything paid off. And, You know, I remember thinking growing up that credit was bad, and you know, I wanted all my stuff. I want to pay for everything cash.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, you know, the more and more I learn as an adult, I'm learning that that's not exactly the way that I should do things. You know, and I still make mistakes to this day because I really don't know. You know what I mean? I remember when I bought a Bentley, I paid cash for it. I literally walked in there with a bag of money, was like, hey, give me that one. And of course, now in hindsight, starting to learn more, I'm like, no, I could have really leveraged that cash and ran it through, you know, credit and systems, you know, several times to actually make. They would have gave me the money that I was about to spend just for me having the money.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, we're just not aware of it. And so, I mean, I think that is the power of certain events like InvestFest and people like yourself that are a little more well-versed and can kind of speak the language where we can understand the smoothie.
That ugly money.
So black people are taught to save. Being financially responsible in a black household is save your money, right, for a rainy day. We're not taught how to grow your money. But if you leave $10,000 under the bed and you come back in a year's time, you still have $10,000. However, outside has become more expensive.
Exactly.
Inflation.
Yes, it is.
So actually, if the inflation rate is 10%, you need 11,000 to buy the same thing that you could buy with 10,000 a year ago.
You're right.
So
you lose
inflation is the silent killer of wealth because you don't see it.
I can remember a time in my bank account, not saying now, baby mamas, that you might be watching.
That ugly money.
There was a time in my bank account.
That ugly money.
Apportionmentary.
That ugly money.
There was a time in my bank account where I used to like to go in the app and just look at the numbers, right? Because it was a nice number in there. And I never wanted the number to go down. You know what I'm saying? Like I became like intrigued with actually just you know, hearing the number and I mean watching the number and that number with those zeros, and I just didn't want to disturb the number.
Yeah.
That was the stupidest shit in the world, bro.
That ugly money.
This money just sitting there, just losing value.
That ugly money.
That's PTSD from lack.
Yeah, I had PTSD from lack. I don't have that PTSD anymore, unfortunately.
That ugly money.
I don't got $5.
That ugly money.
But there was a time. But yeah, no, I mean, we get like that. We're like, oh man, you know, because I can remember like the first time I started interviewing financial literacy guys and guys that were in that.
Yeah.
And this guy told me one time, he was like, anytime one of my accounts gets over $100,000, I'm looking to get rid of the money. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, well, it's sitting there. It's not doing anything. That means it's losing money. Yeah. And I'm like, I never really thought about it like that. I'm like, if it's $100,000 in my account, I like the account. I'm gonna go spend it. But we're losing anyway. You lose it if you go spend it and you don't invest it in anything that's gonna appreciate instead of depreciate. And at the same time, it's just like, well, if you can just leave it there, the world's gonna get expensive. I'm like, man, you know how much eggs cost now? 5 years ago versus now, like it's doubled. You know what I mean? Like I went to Whataburger yesterday. My combo was $17 at Whataburger. And I'm like,
20 years ago.
You know, 20 years ago, this shit was 59 cents for a Whataburger. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, we just gotta, nah, man, that is true. We have to learn how to get our money pregnant.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've been taught. Like, hey, man, you want to get your money pregnant. And so stock trading seems like an interesting way for us to get our money pregnant, where our money makes us more money.
Yeah, but here's a stat. The value of the dollar actually weakens by 50% every 25 years.
Wow.
So 25 years time, what you can buy for $10,000, you need 20,000.
You didn't come from a lot of money growing up. What was the first mind shift that you needed to start, or people need to start building wealth?
Wow. So imposter syndrome is real.
Yeah.
I like the fact Ian has these affirmations. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be free. you need to tell yourself you deserve these things. Otherwise, you'll run away from wealth and head in the opposite direction, right? So the key mindset shift is going from saving and hoarding your money to actually going towards growing your money. And most people think that investing is optional. But once you understand inflation, you realize that your first reason for learning how to invest is not to be financially free.
Right.
It's actually to protect your existing funds.
Just to stay afloat.
And to fight inflation. Once you understand the goal is to fight inflation, investing and learning and educating yourself on investing becomes a priority rather than an option.
So would you say that surviving inflation means investing in things that inflate themselves?
Yeah.
I'm learning, gentlemen.
That ugly money.
Quick story.
That ugly.
My brother Ruger, when I was in the military, there was some land. It was about 20 acres in Grovetown, Georgia. And it was going for $20,000. And he was like, hey, man, we should go pick up this land. It's 20 acres for $20,000. And this is like 2009, 2008 time period. He's like, hey, we should get it. You know what I mean? You got 10 grand, I got 10 grand. We put it together and we can go buy this land for $20,000. And you know, my common black ass says, nah, I'm gonna go buy a Charger.
That ugly money.
I went and bought a Hellcat. Well, it wasn't even a Hellcat then.
That ugly
It was
money.
a B6 Charger.
That ugly money.
Shit was broke by goddamn 2 years later. But I went.
Ugly money.
I needed a car though, so I went and bought a car for $9,000, and I took the last $1,000 and probably tricked it off. And that land is worth multi-millions now.
Wow.
The same plot that we were talking about, they built like a big, shopping center and everything, and it sold for millions of dollars, and something that I could have just, took a Uber for a while. But could we talk about things that inflate themselves that we can invest in?
Yeah. So when I started Stock Pickers Academy, I went straight with the stock picking.
Right.
Not the stock trading, but long-term investing in stock picking.
Right.
I'm a trader, but I started with teaching people how to long-term invest. Because I think when you learn to drive, you don't just pick up a car and drive from New York to California.
Right.
Right? You drive around the local roads, you feel a bit confident, you take bigger roads. But first of all, you do your driving test, your driving theory, you get your education. And then you get your experience, and then you just go longer and longer distances until, 20 years later, you say, I've been driving for 20 years. So likewise, when it comes to investing in the stock market, a lot of people just jump into options. Working institutionally at Goldman Sachs, options is the most technically difficult of all the different products. So if you start with just long-term investing with no leverage, now you're building your knowledge of price, how it moves. You're getting a feel of the market. And then when you feel comfortable, that's when you take the next levels up. A lot of people don't even realize that there are different levels. Everyone wants to get rich quick.
Right.
Right? And when you do that, you get burnt. Most people who start with options trading or day trading, they get burnt, right? Yeah. And then they say, investing is not for me. I tried it once, but you tried it the wrong way.
Okay.
So I said, what can everybody do, right? Everybody can learn to drive.
Right.
But everyone can't drive, what do you call it, NASCAR racing.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Everyone
can drive from their house to the shop. How do I explain that in investing terms? So remember I talked about this movie, the S&P 500.
Right.
What is the S&P 500? It's a combination of the biggest 500 companies in America packaged into one product. Right? But that's not enough. Someone needs to understand what that means for them and their money. So we'll go further. You can purchase that in your Roth IRA, in your general brokerage account, and also in your 401k retirement account. And all you need to do is set up a direct debit, a regular payment, but you need to treat that payment like a bill. Gas and electric.
Right.
So when you get paid, pay yourself first. You pay your gas, you pay your electric, you pay your petrol, you pay everything else.
Right.
And then you drop a little bit of cash into the S&P 500 in your account. What you can afford.
Right.
No one's saying go crazy. Right? Then you need to know what the numbers mean. So here's some numbers for you. The S&P 500 over the past 100 years has grown by, on average, about 10% a year. Your savings account is probably paying you 3%, if that. Your current account pays you interest. A lot of people don't know that their standard bank account pays a tiny bit of interest. Your savings account pays you more. Call it 3%. That's the incentive to move from your current account into your savings account. But can we get more in the stock market without taking up too much of our time? Because a lot of people, can I give you the money to make money? Or, you know, can I pick stocks? It's going to take up too much of my time. Well, how about we educate every single person on passive investing? Hands-free, direct debit, make your money work for you, right?
I like that. And
the way to do that is you set up a direct debit into the S&P 500. You close your eyes. You don't need to be a stock market expert. You don't need to be an A-grade student. You just need to do that. It will grow by approximately 10% a year.
Wow.
Which is better than leaving it lying in the bank. So whether you're an individual, whether you're an entrepreneur, because a lot of business owners leave their cash just lying in the business account, the legal ones anyway.
Yeah, I'm over here doing the math. I'm doing the math. I'm about to cry.
Right? I'm going to give you the numbers. So 10%, what does that mean? I'm going to start small.
Right.
$100 a month.
Right.
For 25 years.
Oh gosh.
Will grow to 125K.
Oh my gosh.
That's just maths.
Portia.
Any investment, whether it says...
I had 2 commas in that account, Portia. I had 2 commas in it. It was 2. And I used to like to look at it because it had 2 commas in it. And I was like, here, bitch, look. And I just wanted it to stay there. And I could have... Thank God for you, bro.
That ugly money.
Let me add to that.
Yes, sir.
So, $850 a month for 25 years will make you a millionaire from passive, hands-free investing. If it goes into the S&P 500, the long-term average. So this has survived what? The Great Depression, 2 world wars, pandemics, a couple, and despite that, it still keeps growing to new record highs. And there's a reason for that. The S&P 500 has relegation and promotion. If a stock is not performing, it gets kicked out and replaced by one that is. And this is how it can stand the test of time, because it only cares about the the dynamic top 500 performing companies. Because a lot of people say, is it gonna stop one day, or when will it crash?
Yeah.
But once you understand the concept of stocks being removed from that group and replaced if they're not up to speed.
It's like an all-star team of businesses.
Exactly. Spot on. Nail on the head.
Like Meta. I don't think Meta going under anytime soon.
The price of Meta 2 years ago. So I've got this watch list that I built in Google Sheets, real time. And what I do is I put long-term buy price entries. There's 1,000 stocks on it, right? I charge for it. It's $99 a month, but the price of Meta was 100. That was the alert price. Now it's like 750 in 2 years.
Goodness gracious. Damn.
But that's going into the side of stock picking. Because the next challenge for me is, if I can get everyone passively investing and show them what the numbers look like. Imagine you have a child. So I went to some prisons in the UK. I go there and I teach money.
Right.
And this inmate, he says to me, "Oh, S&P 500," and I'm impressed. Like, how do you know?
Right.
You've been inside, but there's internet now. So what he's done, he's got his baby mother to open the investment account for his kids.
Okay.
And she has been putting the money in every month. And the S&P 500 actually, over the past 5 years, has doubled. And that's passive investing. It's been averaging 18% a year for the past 5 years and 15% for the past 15 years. So it's actually been outperforming what it should have done on the tin for a period of time.
Yeah, that's it's like free money.
It is free money. And especially if you do it in, the Roth IRA is post-tax and you get everything later on. So why isn't everyone doing this? In the UK, we can actually invest our own pensions into the stock market as well. We can't do options in there. Over here, I hear you can do options in there, but the key thing is don't wait until you feel ready and just start. Once you feel a bit more comfortable, you can scale up. So let's say you don't have a lot of money, because a common myth is you need to have a lot of money to start investing in the stock market.
Right.
Options, yes. Stocks, no. Because if you do $20 a month for 2 years, I'll be honest with you, you're not going to have more than $600.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's a dub.
Right? And we like quick money.
We like quick money.
That we can spend.
Right.
But what you will have is experience.
But when you do get $20.
That's the education. Earn while you learn.
I like it.
The bank gives you crumbs. We all know that the bank gives you crumbs. The stock market gives you cakes and pizzas.
Hey. Tea and crumpets.
Tea and
Hey man, do you think like things like the S&P 500 is that the key to writing people's families' story? Is that the key to like breaking these financial generational curses of the future? Or?
No, but it starts.
Starts it
because look, you can be an entrepreneur, you can have a successful business, you can have a successful career, and you can grow your money, but you need to get to a point where your money starts to do the work.
Money makes you money.
And that's what investing is.
Get the money, right? Knock the money up, Ricky. Let's knock the money up. Okay, I'm learning.
That ugly money.
All right,
but active investing, to answer your question, where you're picking individual stocks, this can really move the needle.
Okay.
So passive investing, everyone should do that.
S&P 500.
S&P 500.
You put it in there, it's going to do all right.
If you never hear from me again, I've given you a secret to building wealth.
Rick, it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like putting your boost post button on auto is the S&P 500.
Yeah.
Doing a targeted ad would be what do you call it?
Stock picking.
Yeah. I'm learning. Okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you put it on auto, it's like it hit everybody that it might, do good. But if you know exactly where to go, what to do, you can target your audience. Okay, cool. I'm learning.
Ugly money.
So even looking within the S&P 500, there's like a top 10.
Right.
So I have clients that don't invest outside of those top 10. Right, which is still all right. The power of the top 10 is if you get a good price, and I'm going to talk about price a lot because price is important.
Right.
Price is ultimately what determines whether you can make money or lose money. Right. And first level thinking says Meta has reported good earnings, and I use it, and they got buy the stock. I use the product. These gurus online, they say, listen, if you invest in the things that you use, it's a whole load of nonsense if you don't do it at a very good price. And a lot of people don't compare investments. So the reason I've got 1,000 different stocks I look at is just because one looks like a very good investment, I need to compare that there's not another 10. I want 10 good investments so that I can choose 3. Right? Because a good investment is not a fantastic one. So it might be a good opportunity in a company that I know well, but there might be an even fantastic one. For example, let's look at Groupon. at the time, everyone was jumping onto Nvidia and these kind of stocks. I looked at Groupon. I said, we are in a cost of living crisis. People are struggling. What kind of companies align with having low funds or low income, right? Everyone wants the coupon code.
Right.
Groupon, it's staring you in the face. The price was at 3. It had taken a massive tumble because the guys operating the business were not doing it very well. Then they changed the CEO, brought in a few changes. And for me, the question was simple. Which of these two stocks has a higher chance of doubling? Groupon or Apple? Right?
Because they're already low. And Apple is already high.
Groupon went from 3.3 to 36. That's a 10x.
Yeah.
Right? I'll give you another example. In the same time, Apple's probably done 30%. Gold. Everyone likes to talk about gold.
Right.
Right? Gold is doing well. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants involvement in gold. What I do is I say gold should do well. It should continue to do well. But if gold goes from 3,000 to 4,000, that's a 33% rise, which is good, which is still better than leaving your money in the bank, which is still probably even better than the S&P return in a year on average. But how can I use that information to really make money? What's correlated to gold?
Silver,
right? Right. So if gold moves, silver should move. But silver will move after gold moves. It follows gold's lead, which means that at the point where gold moves, silver probably is better value for money. But then I know that you can get exposure to gold via the stock market. I know that you can get exposure to silver via the stock market. Everyone knows about Apple, but nobody can tell me what the biggest silver producing mine is.
Nope.
And which company is behind it.
Don't know.
Right? That's where the value is. Everyone's looking at the shiny toy.
Right.
And I'm looking for the value. So the company is called Fresnillo. It's in Mexico.
Wow.
It's even closer to you guys. However, the company is a UK company. It's incorporated in the UK. But the UK has been doing this colonization thing for a long time.
Yeah.
It's incorporated in the UK, but the mines and the operations and the money it earns is all in Mexico. The largest silver mine is in Mexico. The company is called Fresnillo. So actually, instead of going to buy silver, knowing that the FTSE 100 is suppressed, so the FTSE 100 is the UK equivalent of the S&P 500. Every country has its own. Germany, the DAX 40. Brazil, the Bovespa. France, the CAC 40. Every country has its own set of smoothies. The most important smoothie is the S&P 500.
Right.
That's the one that sets pace. And I have this phrase, if America sneezes, the whole world catches a cold.
Okay.
If the S&P 500 starts to drop, everything around the world will drop because that's the barometer of the stock market, right? So there are these relationships that exist. But over here in America, I don't think you look at the UK stock market that much. You might know about Rolls-Royce, which also has done a 10x.
Yeah, because I want to get one. And I could have got one if I would invest in my money properly. Learning today.
So, FTSE 100. In the UK, we'll know that it's not been doing well compared to the S&P. So the S&P averages 10% a year. The FTSE 100 averages 5-6%. So it's not sexy. It's not nice. Even I don't invest in it as an index. In the UK, which is a common misconception, people think that we just invest in UK companies. No, actually, we invest more in American companies. S&P, American tech companies, that's what we lead with. But then we also know where there's value in the UK stock market, right? So you become the average of the people you surround yourself with.
Right.
I've got a WhatsApp group. My old work colleagues from Goldman Sachs, my old boss from Goldman Sachs. 200 experts in stocks, crypto, property, real estate. They're all there. And what happens is people who swear that they'll never touch crypto, because you're now eavesdropping on conversations where other people are, you get curious. And then one day you fold. People who swear that they will never do anything other than S&P 500, they see someone investing in a company that they use every day, WhatsApp. Meta is WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. They see someone make 7x, 8x return on a company that they even know is a good company, and they're like, they get the wandering eye.
Right, for sure.
And then they feel comfortable to maybe take one stock or two stocks. The next time there's an alert price on a company that they know is a good company, like a Tesla or a Meta or an Apple. And this is what being in communities does, right? Whether that's Red Panda, Ian's group, whether that's Stock Pickers Academy, whether it's both, whether it's attending InvestFest and talking to people that are going to all the stocks investing talks. Once you surround yourself with community, right? And one thing I'm going to say, which is really important, is if you lead a community in a space, whether that's music or stocks or investing, whatever, you have to build good relationships with other people doing the same thing.
Okay.
You see, at the top, we collaborate.
We do.
We don't compete, right? And
Free
this is high emotional intelligence, because the people you're trying to serve are looking at you and they want to see you working together. Look at the music world. Don't you have artists you wish that they both made songs together?
For sure.
It applies even in the world of invest in education. The customer wants to buy my product, your product, because we all offer value in different ways. But finding your tribe, finding your community, finding the people you can go to ask this, especially knowing how far behind we are as in the black community. We need to learn how to give each other grace, right? Because sometimes when someone messes up or disrespects us, they're cancelled.
Yeah.
Right? It's better we have a 10 cancellation policy. 10 lives. We need to give each other 10 lives. Right? And it's hard to do, easier said than done, but for the greater good of moving the community forward, we need to understand that there is room for everybody to win.
And so, you know what's crazy, you say that, right? And this may be something, I don't know if this is a UK, just an American thing, but at least in our communities, a lot of the times, the people that are strong in what they do, they don't collaborate. They try to tear each other down. And I think that's, one of the shackles about American society, especially American black society. Like when they took the shackles off our feet, they put it around our minds, and they made to think that our brother and our sister are our enemies.
Black history PTSD.
Right, for sure. And so, what you have is you have a lot of people, a few people up at the top, and they're always quarreling and always beating. And that's showing everybody else, like, oh, yeah, that's not work together. But, there's strength, success, I believe, is a team sport. And if sometimes we would get together and you do some things great and I do some things great and we can put them together and make, a great team, then, hey, that's a great situation. But I think in our culture, for sure, we have been almost trained to sell each other out. The slave that tells on the slave that ran away for a chicken. And we got to get out of that shit, man. That ugly money. I want to know, because you've been around billions of dollars and had to be responsible for it. What is some things that rich people understand about money that we, the normal folks of the world, don't?
So rich people, wealthy people, because I spend a lot of time helping rich white men, rich white-owned corporations make even more money, right? And it's even biblical that wealthy people can get wealthier, right?
Right.
To take it that way, there's a story in the Bible where, a master gives 10 different people a coin or something.
Right.
And 3 different people a coin. Comes back, first one has done a 10x on it. The second one made a little return, and then the last one hid the money under the bed or didn't do anything with it. And he said, I was afraid that if I lost the money, his master would be angry, or his landlord would be angry. And master got angry. He took that one coin from him, and he gave it to the person who had the most. So actually, attracting money, getting rich, being wealthy, there's a stewardship challenge. You're responsible, and unto whom much is given, much is desired. Like, you don't need to, regardless of what religion you are, or if you're not religious, there are lessons from a lot of religions that can just be applied to life. Right? So a lot of people want to win the lottery. A lot of people want to get a lot of money. But if you got $10 million today, most people actually will not know how to manage it. Most people will gamble it and become bankrupt.
Right.
Lifestyle inflation will kick in, where as you're earning more, you're spending on more expensive things to a point where your cash burn is high. And you find yourself probably in a worse place than before you won the money. Wealthy people look at money and investing like this. I need to learn how to invest. It's not optional for them. Whether they have money or not, and they pass on that knowledge to their children. Handing your children an inheritance. So I think there's a stat that said most people who are well off had a head start from inheritance.
Right.
And how do you pass on an inheritance? So poor people look at their pension money as, I want to save for retirement or invest for retirement so that I'm not struggling and I can pay for things. Rich people don't look at it that way. They look at their pension as what they're going to pass down, not what they're going to spend when they retire. And those two different mindsets change the approach you have to building wealth.
Makes sense.
Because maybe actually the right thing to do might not be to load up your pension. Maybe it's actually to load up your Roth IRA and not your 401k, or I don't know how it works so much over here, but in the UK, your stocks and shares ISA is like your tax-free type account, and you can access all that money. Whereas your pension is for retirement. So that decision on how to allocate capital between the two is quite a big one, where you think about what hand you actually dealt in life. So, cut a long story short, the wealthy people, they see education as critical to their investing journey, and they focus on that first.
I think the knowledge, to not pass down the bad financial knowledge is the key to the next generation prospering.
Yeah.
The knowledge of not thinking that credit is terrible, you know what I mean? And to think that I should pay everything cash. I mean, that knowledge, you're right. If we pass that down to our next generation, they're just going to get better and better at it. Now, everybody's grinding, stacking money, hustling. But you say saving isn't enough. Why is the stock market the real cheat code to wealth? And can you explain why crypto isn't gambling?
Okay. Ultimately, it's about fighting inflation, right? The stock market, if we take things back to first principles, it's not a casino. You are owning a piece of a business that already exists and has some level of success.
Right.
You're an entrepreneur. Without needing to found your own business, you can just see a business that someone else founded and own a piece. And if you do that in a passive manner with the S&P 500, you're pretty much guaranteed to average about 10%, and you're on that path to building wealth passively.
And you didn't have to flip hamburgers to own a piece of McDonald's.
Exactly. And then going on to active investing, you are taking a bit more time to pick some strategic companies that your mentors, your group, yourself have come together to see, do some analysis, get some credible price targets that are conservative. We only buy on sale, buy on a discount. The golden rule of investing is to buy low and to sell high.
Yeah.
So many people break that rule. The amount of times I get questions come my way. Is it too late to buy this? Is it too late to buy gold? Is it too late? If you find yourself asking that question, it's too late.
You know what's crazy? I just seen a video, not this past week, Elon Musk was talking about, somebody asked him, why should I invest in Tesla versus some other thing? And he told him, he was like, I don't think you should invest in Tesla. Our stock price, our ticket is high.
It's too high.
For him to say that to someone, you know, I mean, he definitely has a certain level of understanding of the buy low, sell high thing. And he's like, yeah, I wouldn't invest in Tesla right now. Our ticket price is too high. What exactly did Elon Musk mean when he said that?
So, again, going back to something I mentioned earlier, first level thinking versus second level thinking. First level thinking says, Tesla is a great company. The CEO is a household name.
Right.
Everyone's buying Teslas. The world is going electric vehicles. Buy Tesla.
Right.
Second level thinking says, yes, all these things are true, but does price already reflect that? And a lot of these type of companies, there's something called the price over earnings ratio. And to explain that in layman's terms, imagine you're a college basketball player and you get offered like a mega contract. They're doing that because they can see your future. They're betting on your future now, saying this kid is going to become great. We're going to give you something that reflects that. Right? So that price is a bit like that salary.
Right.
Whereas if you look at that salary in isolation, it's like, this kid is getting drafted, but he's still a kid, technically. Right. Why don't we pay him a kid's wage?
Hey.
But the price over earnings ratio is a similar concept where it's almost comparing and saying the salary that they're predicting you for as a that someone would potentially offer you on a draft compared to your, what do I say to do it? Your stage, right? And that way you can make those comparisons.
If you wanted to sign LeBron James to a contract, you would have to pay him sky-high prices because he's already arrived. But he's pretty much where he's going to be at. He's not really going to go up anymore. He's a great thing, you know. He's there, you know. You're going to have to facilitate him at market value. But his youngest son that's going to Arizona State this year is substantially less, but he has a bright upside. So you could sign him to a same contract for extremely less and probably make way more, is what you're saying.
Something like that.
But LeBron is the household name, so we look, we all know LeBron. But if Bryce becomes half as good as his father,
this is it.
Then at the same time, you know, we gave Bryce $1 million. We had to give Bron $100 million. Let's give Bryce the $1 million, and if as long as Bryce, 50 times X's it or whatever, it might be a that's kind of similar to, I think, to what you're saying.
Yeah, the price over earnings ratio is how you can then compare. So Tesla will have a price over earnings ratio,
right.
And if you compare it to other price over earnings ratios to like Neo and other companies in the sector, or even at the technology level, then you can have a more informed view of if actually price is way above where it should be. So actually,
it's cheaper to sign an artist directly out the hood than take an artist that already popped and sign him to a second contract.
That ugly money.
But they both could have number one hit.
Exactly. This is it.
I got it. I knew I was going to find a way to niggify it. That's my word, niggify it.
I need you to do another one. I'll tell you this one.
Go ahead.
So most people who invest do not understand the concept of beta. Now, if you go into Google and type in beta, what is the equation? You're going to see a very complex mathematical equation.
Right.
And you're going to look away. However, if I say to you, there is something that captures the relationship between an individual stock and the S&P 500. Are they correlated? If the S&P 500 drops, does that stock drop? Does it drag the stock down? If the S&P 500, which is like owning a piece of America, if that goes up, does it drag the stock price up with it? So they're moving in correlation with each other, right?
Okay.
Something like Apple, Meta, they're going to have strong correlation with the S&P 500 because they make up such a big part of it.
Right.
So they would have a beta above 1. It could be like 3, 4, something like that. Then you've got supermarkets like Walmart. We're going to go to supermarkets whether we're rich, whether we're poor, whether there's a cost of living crisis or not. And as such, Walmart is going to have a mind of its own. The price of Walmart will have a price, will have a mind of its own. So it might not be as correlated to the S&P 500 because people are going to go there regardless. And then you've got pharmaceutical companies, especially some of the smaller ones, where a lot of their price movements are determined by approvals of drugs or rejections of applications of new drugs or medicines or treatments. So what tends to happen is over time, they also have a mind of their own such that
Because they're circumstantial.
they can move opposite to the S&P 500.
They're circumstantial.
Yeah. So you got negative,
Yeah.
beta close to 0, or beta close to 1. Correlated, not correlated, opposite correlation. Now, when you're building an individual stocks portfolio, you actually want stocks that have a mix of betas. You need some that are correlated to the market, some that are uncorrelated to the market, and some that might move in the opposite direction, such that when there's a war or Donald Trump starts talking about tariffs, it's not your whole portfolio that drops in that moment. It's just some of it. And this is how we start creating a portfolio that weathers the storm.
I think I can put it in.
Let's go.
Let's niggify it. Okay. You always gonna be fly wearing some polo.
That ugly money.
You know if you got the horse on your shirt, you gonna be straight.
That ugly money.
20 years ago, we was wearing polo. We still wear it today.
That ugly money.
Now, if you want to jump real crazy, fresh, and designer, you gonna put some Balenci's on.
That ugly money.
That's the new fly shit. That's the shit that everybody wants.
That ugly money.
But every now and then, you get a brand that comes out that's hot for a summer or two, like Coogee.
That ugly money.
And then it disappears.
That ugly money.
Because people might not wear Coogee
That ugly money.
this season.
That ugly.
Coogee would be the pharmaceutical company
That ugly money.
that are kind of situational
That ugly money.
and may spike and drop at any point in time.
That ugly money.
Walmart is Ralph Lauren Polo,
That ugly
because
money.
you always gonna go there regardless.
That ugly money.
And Balenciaga is Apple.
That ugly money.
Hey man, put your fit together. And in order to have a dope closet, aka portfolio, you need to have a mixture of everything.
That ugly money.
Hey, I love that.
I niggified it. Now that makes sense though. That makes sense.
And-
You want to have your closet. You want to have a
Right.
nice assortment of things.
And the mistake a lot of people make is they think that having a diversified portfolio means having a bit of different industries, and that's it.
Right.
But there's so many different factors you have to diversify. You diversify by beta, volatility, country, currency, how big a company is, like Apple versus it being a penny stock, so market cap, and so on and so forth. There's loads. So ultimately, when you're building an individual portfolio mix is important, not just price.
That's hard.
And the last thing is sizing. If I tell you that Meta's at a good price and you got 100K or 50K or $1 million or 10K or 5K, how much should you put in? Most people don't know the answer. And that's where you need a coach.
Right,
Because you can end up picking a great play and end up losing money on it because your strategy on sizing was wrong. And a bit of maths. If I spend $1,000 at a price of, let's say Snapchat is $10,
Right.
and it drops to $1, and I spend And that's a 90% drop. So you bought a stock with $1,000 and it's dropped to 1. And then you spend another $1,000. Your new average price isn't 5. And I'll tell you why. If you bought 100 shares at 10,
right,
and you bought 100 shares at 1,
right,
your new average price is the midpoint. However, if you spent different amounts, $1,000 at 10 gives you 100 shares.
right.
$1,000 at 1 gives you 1,000 shares, 10 times as many shares.
Wow.
So your average price is actually 1.8. So it doesn't need to get back to 10 for you to break even. It only needs to move a little bit to 1.
So you could actually lose and win more.
Basically.
And most people will run.
Most people will buy at 10, buy at 8, buy at 7. They're adding money at the wrong prices. Where it's actually better for them to wait for a big drop. Let the market is irrational. Let it do what it's going to do.
Right.
But only wait for specific prices, which that's my place. That's my job.
You actually look for the crash.
I know. I wait for the crashes.
He waiting.
I was waiting in April when Donald Trump was talking about tariffs.
Right.
And this is risk management. So what I was actually known for at Goldman Sachs is how do you turn a loser into a winner?
Right.
Not how do you just pick a great stock. How do you manage a bad position, a position that your initial amount that you invested has gone against you? When is the next time to buy? And that's the strategy that I've created.
Because you only lose when you quit.
You only lose if a stock goes bankrupt.
Right.
So then what the game changer is, you set a maximum budget for each stock. So let's say you got $10,000. I will tell you what your ratio is. I might say to you, one stock has a $4,000 budget. Your other 3 stocks have a $2,000. That is the maximum you'll spend. So you have a 4-stock portfolio. So the one with the $4,000 budget, it may be you spend $2,000 initially, $1,000 and $1,000. It could be $1,000 and $2,000 and $1,000. Right. But depending on the stock in question, my job is to show you how much budget per stock you should use in your portfolio, and then when you pick that stock, how do you size up that?
Right.
Now we're talking strategy.
I got an interesting question for you.
Go on.
What happens? What do these people say to you when you're wrong?
So the strategy I designed actually enables you to be wrong on your first bit of the budget you spend. So you're going to spend, let's say, $2,000 on Meta. The first price you spend on a big discount that I set. I know what that price is, right? That's just experience.
Right.
The second price I also set. But once you've eliminated bankruptcy, right, I'm only wrong on maybe not getting the timing perfect. But the strategy gets me out of jail in the times where I haven't...
The portfolio.
Right.
Because if one thing doesn't go, the other one will.
Because I'm making good decisions over and over again.
Coogee goes out of style, ladies and gentlemen. You still got that Ralph Lauren. You still got 5 polo shirts.
This is it.
And you gonna be good, you know what I mean? And it's on Air Force Ones. You know, nobody wanna wear them goddamn Yums anymore that Soldier Boy was wearing. You know what I mean? They don't believe. Okay, I understand that. So that's why diversity of a portfolio is important, because of the fact of
diversifying the factors.
Right.
Right. Because diversity can actually kill returns.
Okay.
If you just diversify by industries.
Right. Okay.
But you just want to make sure that you're getting the right mix, even if it's a portfolio with only 3 stocks. So I've got to a point where I'm writing the specifications of the next stock, because I'm saying I don't have, all my stocks are tech, all my stocks are American, all my stocks are large, well-known companies that I use. Now I need a stock that is UK, that is maybe commodities related, like gold or silver, that maybe is a penny stock, that the CEO isn't a household name, right? Because I need a disruptor to my portfolio, which will complement the overall return of my portfolio. So the next stock, what you have already matters.
That's hard. What are some of the stupidest things that you've seen people, as far as money decisions, do?
Well, we've talked about one already, which is buying highs.
Buy Tesla.
You don't need to meet me. You don't need to buy a course. You don't need to do that to know that buying low and selling high is a good rule.
Right.
And yet, you break it. Isn't that stupid? Yeah. The second rule, the second thing that I see a lot of people doing is they don't educate themselves before they spend their first dollar.
Okay.
Right? And I say to people, listen, if you want to have a go, do it virtually. Right? Do it virtually. You have to get the education. Now, you don't need, Airbnb doesn't own any houses. Right?
Right.
You don't need to be a mechanic to drive a car. You just need to learn how to drive.
Right.
Learning how to drive is the same as learning a strategy to invest, rather than learning everything there is to know about stocks. Not everyone has the capacity. Listen, I can't start learning how to become a surgeon now. I don't have the brain.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Same with stocks. But you can learn something that's already working. But you have to make sure you vet. And it's very hard to vet.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I put my neck on the line. In 2013, 2014, I created a WhatsApp group of other people who were working in the city, in my field, in finance, in investment banking. And I said, I'm going to start building my pension up by picking stocks. Now, either the journey is going to be a good one,
right,
or it's going to end in tears. But I'm going to document that journey. So every single transaction I have ever done in the stock market, I've screenshotted it at the beginning, and they've seen the ones that made money, the ones that didn't make money, and more importantly, they get to see the journey. That's people that knew about the group then. Obviously, some people only know about it now. And here's the thing. I 10x'd my pension in 10 years.
Amen to that.
And people got to see how. It wasn't just buying Tesla and Tesla doing 10x. It was buying a stock, holding it for 6 months, and then it drops a little bit, and then buying some more, and then eventually it goes into 40% profit, which isn't crazy, but 40% of $3,000 is still a lot of money, and just continuing to compound like that. So I actually put my neck on the line. My group was free for 7 years. It was only the last 3 years before it 10x that lockdown, Clubhouse.
Right.
I just started it as a whole operation, and I was able to get it to a point where I do it full time. And doing it full time came from charging, because it meant that I could not go back to work in the city, and I could focus my attention. I can be here today. I can go to investors. I can, actually have one-on-one calls with people. And I've seen people make their first $1 million. I've seen people make their first 1,000. So I've seen nurses picking stocks outperforming the S&P 500. I've seen bus drivers. I've seen plumbers, music artists, football players, influencers.
Wow.
And for me, I said to myself, I need to create a strategy that an everyday person can relate to.
Right.
If I can't explain it simply to you, and this is how you hold an educator accountable. If you don't understand what they're saying, hold me accountable, because if I can't explain it simply, I don't know it well enough.
Right.
Right? So Niche is giving all these analogies because he knows
we niggified
what he knows.
But a lot of that's just coming from knowing your audience.
Knowing your audience.
Knowing your audience, knowing what they're into, so you can put it in a certain language that they can understand.
That's it.
Because me, I am not by far the most financially educated person. I'm good at making money. I'm good at that. But as far as making the money, make me money, that is something that I'm working on.
We're going to work on that.
And so when I hear things or whatever, I have to, layman's terms, dumb it down for myself so I can understand what's being taught. Now, there was this movie that I wanted to talk to you about. It was called Dumb Money. I don't know if you've ever seen it. But it's about this guy that invested in GameStop.
Yeah.
GameStop. You heard about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he had this long he had this big thing where he was investing in GameStop stocks, and he kind of like flipped the stock market on upside down. Can you explain to me what he was doing? Because I've seen the movie and I liked it, and he was like, don't sell, and he was still holding on to this GameStop stock. What exactly was that?
So, fortunately, I worked institutionally, right, behind the scenes. So, what is it, DraftKings you have out here?
Yeah.
DraftKings will put out what you're going to bet on.
You're right.
On both sides. They're the house. What I was doing is I was a house at Goldman Sachs.
Okay.
So I'm taking the other side to Warren Buffett's trades. I'm taking the other side to Ray Dalio's trades. Actually, I've done business with Ray Dalio's hedge fund.
Right.
The hedge fund is just trying to grow its money.
Right.
The investment bank is playing DraftKings. Right?
Right.
So you need to actually understand some of the strategies. I said buy at 10, buy at 1, your average is 1.8. So you're learning how to sell low, right? You're meant to buy low and sell high.
Right.
But sometimes in facilitating business, if you're taking the other side of a really smart investor, you're selling lows. But if you sell a low and sell a bit more, your average is a bit higher. Market volatility can break you even, right?
Right.
So a lot of these hedge fund players, what they do is they target specific companies. Hedge funds have the ability to actually bet on a stock's price falling. And this is a different side. This isn't investing anymore. This is trading. So if you're betting on a stock price falling, you tend to need quite a lot of money to do that. You need a lot of leverage. So if the stock price is falling and you're making money, but those people aren't panic selling, the buyers, the people who own the stock aren't panic selling, they still own the stock.
Right.
In the world of DraftKings, the liquidity providers, you can still keep buying more. And if you're doing it quiet periods of the day, like after the market quietens out, before, it can actually trigger little market moves. Traders have stop losses. These hedge funds, they all have levels where I'm out.
Right.
And if you're already making a lot of money and it starts to move against you, human psychology, you're going to get out.
Right.
If everyone starts doing that, panic. Fear, greed, ignorance. 3 things that drive the market.
Okay.
When fear is driving the market, if the price of something goes from 10 to 1 and you've bet that it will go from 10 to 0, even when it's at 1, you're making money.
Making money.
Right? A lot of money.
A lot of money.
But if the price goes to from 1 to 2, that price has doubled. So the amount you've lost is actually quite a lot.
Substantial.
So down there, it's like stretching an elastic band and then letting go. You have 3 types of buyers. If you bet on the stock price falling, to close your position, you actually need to buy.
If you are betting on the stock price falling.
If you sold it, sell high, buy low.
Right.
You're buying the low. So you're one type of buyer. Buyer to take profit.
Right. Okay.
If you're just a speculator,
right,
you see the price low, you are buying to start a new position.
Got you.
If you bought high and you're in a bit of a mess at 10, you know that if you buy at 1, your average price is 1.8. So you've managed your position.
Right.
So you're buying to get a better average price.
Okay.
3 types of buyers can cause a volcano. And what happens? When you stretch an elastic band and you let go, it doesn't just go like that. It snaps. So you're seeing your loss, your profits vanish quite quickly.
Right.
And you panic, you're out. That's what this guy's saying. Keep buying, don't sell. In the film, keep buying, don't sell. As a retail investing community, we can bully the big boys as long as we all keep buying,
right,
and we don't sell. And this then triggers the stop losses and actually can cause what we call a short squeeze. In layman's terms, that's the best I can do.
I'm trying to niggify that shit right there. It was a good movie.
The price of a brick.
It sounds like, okay, let me know if I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
It sounds like, okay, it's a mountain. And you got people that are in the valley, and you got people that are on the way up or down the mountain, and you got people that are at the top of the mountain. And that's all I got. That's it.
No. I like it.
You got people that are commuting on the mountain. You got people that are in the valley, and you got the people that are at the top of the valley, right? And those are the three type of buyers. You got the people that are up and down the mountain. You got the people at the top of the mountain. You got the people that are at the bottom of the mountain in the valley. All right, cool. You got those three type of buyers, and if those three type of buyers, everybody stays on the mountain. Hey, yeah, I'm losing it right there. I got to work on that one. Hey, man, I appreciate this, man. Where can people tap into you? Because you can definitely tell that you're extremely knowledgeable at this. And if anybody just really wants to, make their money pregnant, I think this is, because I see a lot of, you know what? Let's get into it.
That ugly money.
I've had girls.
That ugly money.
I'm always back to the women.
That ugly money.
Hey, Portia.
That ugly money.
I've had women, right?
That ugly money.
That, I like to think of myself as a higher value gentleman. I've had women that I've had to kick out and send them back to the apartments for doing just, egregious things with certain individuals that, just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, babe, this guy, the DraftKings, this guy's worried about his parlays. I don't think he's going to have a big 5 to 10 year success plan if he's, trying to get you to give him $30 for the parlay. So right before I kicked her out, I saw that she sent him $30 for the parlay. And I'm like, how much of the stock market is similar to sports betting? Because it seems like it's similar. But if the dumb niggas can sports bet, then why can't they stock, why can't they do the stock market? I mean, almost, if you look at the graphics, and it almost looks similar.
Yeah.
Is it similar?
Here's the difference. There are transferable skills. There are similarities. You are taking an educated view on something going up.
Right.
Or a favorable outcome.
Right.
However, the difference with sports betting is a little bit like options. If you make that bet and you're wrong, your money's gone.
Right.
With the stock market, you are actually owning a share of a real business that exists.
Still got it.
If you don't sell it, you still got it. Right?
Right.
And this is why, not to say there aren't some people who aren't successful betting.
Right, for sure.
But your probability of success, your chances of success are less than the stock market, right? Especially if you just look at S&P 500 and then picking a few individual companies.
So it's actually more, so sports betting is gambling, and stock picking is more of an educated guess, or an educated.
Yeah, some people do use the word educated gamble, or measured risk.
Right.
'Cause gambling is a reckless risk.
Right.
Investing is a responsible risk.
Yeah, bro. Because I'm not a sports bettor, but I've seen these platforms or whatever. A lot of them have advertised on my platform, and it's just like, okay, this looks just as confusing as the stock market to me. But Jody up the street, he got it parlays going. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, if you can understand that, then why can't we understand this?
Right.
Or if you could understand Madden dynasty mode and like me in NCAA 26, and I can see that this 5-star recruit, or you know what I mean? Like the graphics or the actual mentality of just understanding the information. Once you understand what you're looking at, I think it's a transferable thing. Just like guys will sit on the sports betting app all day, making plays or whatever. I can totally see how the stock market could be almost like a game.
Yeah, so it's mindset.
Right.
Right? If you invest properly, it is boring.
Dope.
Yeah?
Dope.
I'm not going to sell the dream. if you invest, if you're having a lot of fun with your investing, you're probably getting closer to trading or penny stocks, right? You need to know how to separate the two. If you do want to express yourself with a bit more, trying to make quick money and this kind of stuff, build your investments and then use some of the profits to do some of the
almost like the difference between checkings and savings.
Yeah.
You put your money, you're going to spend in your checkings, and you put the long-term stuff in the savings.
That's it.
And so that's what we're talking about with the S&P 500. That's your savings. Yeah, you don't touch that too much. You know what I'm saying? You make a tweak here, make a tweak there. If you want to get into trading or whatever, that's your checking account. Goddamn, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna buy a 3.5 and a shot of Hennessy. You know what I mean? We might fuck that off. But the savings needs to stay there because that's for the long haul.
Yeah.
And I just niggified it. Thank y'all. Learn something every day. Hey, bro, where can they follow you at? What courses? What do you have to offer? Because like I said, people are definitely need to hear this information. Definitely need to know more. I definitely think that you're gonna put some, spark some light bulbs off in people's heads after this episode.
Yeah. So one thing I've noticed is women like to buy to develop themselves.
Right.
Men don't like to spend. They'll watch your podcast and try and extract as much free game as possible. And then they'll go and try it themselves.
And fuck up.
And then, some of them won't, some of them will, but what will happen is you won't be able to consistently. The group I created myself, I've made more money from that, from the fact that I'm in the group I created myself,
right,
than if I was just reading books and trying to do the self-taught thing. Men love to do the self-taught YouTube books. It's inefficient, right? Because you do all that stuff and you put your first trade on and you're not sure. Whereas, so I have a WhatsApp group chat. It was free for 7 years. Now it's $99 a month. But I did something. I created an e-course which teaches my strategy. Right? And they can purchase that on my Linktree. So if you follow me on Instagram, Stock Pickers Academy, they'll see that anyway. And you hit the link in the bio, or you go to the website www.stockpickers.academy or stockpickersacademy.com. You will have access to a few videos, and you can actually buy my course. My course is $1,000.
Right. And
but there's a discount code.
Yeah, for sure.
Ugly Money.
We got an Ugly Money discount code.
Ugly Money. You get 20% off.
Hey! Ugly Money. You better buy low and sell high. I got you the Ralph Lauren and a discount, bitch ass nigga. And then in this WhatsApp group, they can actually communicate with you as well directly.
Yeah. So it's by subscription.
Right. But they can communicate with you.
That's my job. I'm customer support.
That's hard.
I know, but I've got used to it.
Yeah.
So the WhatsApp group.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, hard in America's term mean that's good.
Oh, okay. We use that as well.
Yeah, like that's hard. That's dope. That's good. Yeah.
Dope.
The fact that they can access you for $99 a month.
Not just me. Me and my personal private network.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I put them all in the group.
That's hard.
I didn't ask them. I threw them in the group, and I said, if you're gonna leave, you're gonna leave, and they stayed.
That's hard. That's hard.
So the e-course is learning my personal strategy.
Right.
Like learning how to drive.
Right.
And the ongoing subscription is for ongoing mentorship.
Right.
Okay. So you must tell me before doing anything with your money. So you get to see what the millionaires are doing with their money. Right. You get to see what people on 500 are doing with their money because they've got to tell me. You get to see how I coach them.
Right.
And everyone is singing from the same hymn sheet. We've got the same watch list.
Right.
And we're all using the same strategy.
I think it's dope in your case, right? Because most people with money, like when I had those things in my account, Portia, those two little commas, I would probably have been the type of guy to be like, hey, bro, here's $100,000, make me some money. But then I don't know how to make more. I don't know how to continue it. You flip it one time. I gave you $175,000, and it's back over again. I think it's dope that you have something that's set up where people can continue this and pass this knowledge down to the next generation, which inadvertently is, breaking this financial generational curse that we have. This is it. I salute you for your work and your ethics, bro, for the culture and for people in general of just showing us the information. The knowledge is here, gentlemen. We done niggified it for y'all. So if you're going to get it, let's get it. And if not, don't worry, I'll hire you when I get it. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man.
Nah, it was good. Good link up,
Safe travels back to the UK.
Thank you.
And whenever you're in Atlanta, man, my kitchen is your kitchen.
Thank you, man. When you coming over to London?
I need to. Because the women are taught to be submissive. Yes. And they're mighty pretty, by the way, from what I've seen. All right, man, y'all can follow me at UglyMoneyNiche. Make sure y'all follow him at Stock Pickers Academy. Remember, the bigger the dream, the bigger the risk, the bigger the payoff. This has been the Ugly Money Podcast with Coach Debs.
That ugly money. That ugly money. Yeah.